how are you? Welcome to Entire Healing.
I want to welcome you back to my channel, and I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to introduce you to my mom. This is Mom. I want to thank you for being in this video. Today we're going to be talking about hydration and how important it is for your mind and your body to be fully hydrated. And for those of you that have a problem with sluggish metabolism, it can literally be as simple as hydrating the body. And a lot of times when we are having memory issues and things like that, it can be completely tied to being dehydrated. I would say as many as 80% of Americans are dehydrated, and maybe even more, and they don't even know it. You could be drinking enough water and your body not be accepting it and utilizing it properly. So we're not going to get real sciencey. The point of this video is to help you learn how to hydrate well, some good options on how to do that, how to boost metabolism, how to have amazing brain function, circulation. And Mom, what are one of the things that I tell you that you need to do all the time?
Drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water, and tell the audience why you struggle with drinking enough water.
Maybe because I drink too much coffee.
We are coffee lovers, and we have all inherited that in this family. But there's also another reason that you've told me, a couple of other things on why you don't drink enough water.
Probably because I have to go to the bathroom too often.
A lot of people complain that they don't drink so much water because they get tired of having to go to the bathroom all the time. So I'm going to teach you how to solve that problem as well, because believe it or not, that's actually an indicator that there is a problem.
Oh.
And so we're going to solve that, and you just have to be willing to track. And a lot of times it's a good idea to figure out what is going to get you excited about drinking water. And so I'm going to show you a couple of things that get me excited about drinking water. And you know, there's always fingers pointing back. So I have to be sure that I am walking my talk and that I am doing the things that I teach, because not every teacher does the things that they are teaching, and sometimes we can get off track as well. And so I have just been really exploring all of the areas where I've gotten a little off track and need to hone it in. As we're approaching a new year, I actually want to be the best version of myself today and not wait for January 1st to set that goal. No time like the present, right? So one of the things that I like to do is get a pretty bottle, and I feel like this bottle is so pretty, and I keep it near me. So my goal is 2 of these a day, and this helps me to track. So I'm on my first bottle. It's still early enough that I don't have to panic. And for those of you that don't want to drink so much because it keeps you, like it makes you wake up in the middle of the night, you want to get the majority of your water in on the first half of the day, and that way there's less time to worry about it the rest of the day. And also when it comes time to go to bed, you can tap out an hour before, and if you're doing a few of these other things that I'm going to teach you, you won't be waking up in the middle of the night, so you're not going to need to go to the bathroom. So I fill up my bottle, and I also, let me grab them. One of the things that has helped me so much is trace minerals. I am not sponsored, I'm not even an affiliate, but this product is such an amazing product because minerals help to draw the water into the cell. So if you are having water and minerals, that water is getting drawn into the cell, and then you're not having to go to the bathroom all the time because your body is utilizing the water. When I fill this up twice a day, I put about 10 drops of water in each one. So I'm getting 20 drops. I can't even taste it, but yet they're in there doing amazing things for my body. I'm going to pour us some water, and we're going to ask Mom if she can taste the trace minerals and what she thinks about it. Cheers to your health. It's tasty. What do you think? can't really taste it, can you?
No, tastes fine to me.
Tastes like health to me. Trace minerals, and I actually had a conversation with a staff member, actually I think it's the doctor that they have in connection with this company, and we were talking about a lot of people are afraid that they're going to get too many minerals and it's going to be toxicity, but when you are taking trace minerals in the right form, the body flushes it out your urine, whatever it does not need. If you are taking a supplement isolated, that's when there can be a problem. But these, if you were to get too much, it just flushes right out your urine. Body's pretty smart and it knows what to do.
Right.
The other option is the Celtic salt, which I have. Redmond's. This is the main salt I use for everything, whatever I'm making in my home. There is no table salt in this home, and that's why I really limit eating out, because eating out has table salt, and table salt, it has a negative effect on your body. It can cause you to retain. It is bad. It literally is killing taste buds, and there's so much research to prove this, and I've actually seen it play out in my clients' health as they have switched in my own as well, because when you're doing this, it has nutrients, it has minerals, it has not been stripped out, and so the body knows what to do with it, and it also is not going to make you retain, and your body's also not going to keep craving it. So you see people over salt their food, and that's because they're not getting what they need from that table salt. You don't see that happen with this. It's because the body knows what it needs, and if it's getting what it needs, it knows when to stop. So this is another great way to get trace minerals in your life. And so all you have to do is take a little pinch. I would take this 4 times a day. Just put it in your mouth, drink your water. I actually enjoy it. It's interesting. This is the most flavorful salt on the market. And they have come up against some fire lately because some people are saying that these have heavy metal toxicity. And I have done my own research, and that's not true at all. So if you start to hear information like that, please do your research and don't just go with the flow. She drank all her water. I'm very proud of you.
Oh,
I'm very proud of you. I will tell you a little story. My dad had cognitive dysfunction. Until your parents get to the place where they need your help, a lot of times you don't know the things that are going on in their life. So my dad had been diagnosed with PTSD. He was in the Vietnam War. He had suffered with those memories from all those years where he was picking people up in the helicopter. He flew the helicopters that picked up those that were needing medical attention. Right. These are things that we didn't know until later when he would actually talk about it, but we didn't know that he had PTSD. We didn't know that he had a brain scan that actually showed the part of the brain that was kind of caving in.
Right.
And so as we all started noticing major cognitive dysfunction, that's when I had a conversation with him, and then he showed me these pictures, kind of showed me some of the other side that I learned about him, and I moved him in with my mom. It's just easier to care for someone minute by minute if they're in your home. Right. So they moved in with me for a couple of weeks, and by the end of a week, 1 week, we were doing all these things, and we noticed such a big difference in his behavior, in his cognitive function. He was playing cards again without having to stop and think and making mistakes and things like that. It was absolutely amazing. And this was when I was on the brink of becoming a health coach. And the thing that was great is with my dad, because he trusted me and we had that relationship, I had a lot of freedom that I don't have with others, where he's like, whatever. Like, we took him off his blood pressure medication, and he went back to the doctor at the end of what we did, and the doctor said, Bruce, I've never seen a spark in your eye like I do now. Your skin is glowing. You don't need to be on your blood pressure medication. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And it was because of these principles that I am teaching you in my videos right here on YouTube, little by little, and it's also what I walk people through in my program. My program works 100% of the time when the people do 100% of the program. It was the most exciting thing, and my dad would go to church, and people he didn't even know would walk up to him, and they would say, "We don't know what you're doing, but you look amazing, and you've lost weight." And he told me, which I get teary-eyed every time I say this, but he said, if I don't live another day, it was worth it because of how good he feels. And that's the most exciting part.
Absolutely.
Is for you to have that joy. Just super exciting as I see this play out. And so hydration is such a key function. Someone can have constant UTIs because they're dehydrated. They can have bladder infections, bacterial infections. They can have memory issues. It can mimic Alzheimer's. It can mimic dementia. It can mimic senility. And you pump them full of water and make sure it's getting into the cell, and you have changed their brain. You have changed that. And so that's why it is so important. And if you have older parents, you need to stick in there and help them achieve this, because they're not going to do it on their own. They've been used to patterns for 80 years, and you have to help them to be able to implement this. It does take a village. So, they say that with children, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to keep your elderly parents healthy. So another thing that I wanted to talk to our friends about is how it was last week, I think it was at the beginning of last week, I made chia pudding. And actually this time it wasn't chia pudding, it was my Bulgarian yogurt with chia. And so I took Bulgarian yogurt with it, which if you don't know about Bulgarian yogurt is the highest in probiotics that you get from the grocery store. The way that the Bulgarians do it, it has twice as many probiotics as Greek yogurt, and the way they process it, it's not as tangy. I love it. It's my favorite yogurt on the market, and I get White Mountain, and I also love this in a glass jar. So I took the Bulgarian yogurt and I mixed it with chia seeds. Chia seeds are an excellent way to get hydrated, and also so many other amazing benefits. They're high in omega-3s, they're high in fiber, they have protein. So it's a wonderful thing for you to get into your life, and if anybody tells you it's not, don't listen, because they don't know what they're talking about. But the chia seed has to be hydrated for 20 minutes, at least, before you consume it. Because otherwise, that hard, dry chia seed is taking the hydration from you.
Oh.
And so we want it to be a plus instead of a negative.
Right.
And so you've got to know what you're doing. But what I did was I took that Bulgarian yogurt, I put chia seeds in it, put it in the refrigerator for overnight, and then I also made my chia strawberry jam, which is another wonderful way to get chia in your life, and it tastes delicious. And I have a recipe which I will link in the description below. And my mom came over and we had toast, and we put the chia yogurt on top, and we put the chia jam on top, and had a delicious little side. And it was a wonderful breakfast because everything on that plate was nutrient dense, including the bread, because that bread is made with fresh milled flour. So we covered all the macros, the micros, and we are doing great things with hydration, because what chia does is it's like for the long haul. And I learned this from Dr. Edwards, Dr. Ben Edwards. I've been doing some videos with him lately because he is a wealth of knowledge, and most MDs don't know this stuff at all. Dr. Edwards does, and he had done an interview where he was talking about how adding chia in this way, making sure it's hydrated before you take it, is gelatinous, and it's kind of like that fourth phase of water that has been talked about recently, that is inside our cell, that is a little bit more like gel. So that's kind of what chia is doing. It's forming that long-term slow hydration And so we are hydrated for longer, and it's helping it to draw into the cell so that your body is utilizing it successfully. With that chia being in liquid for at least 20 minutes or overnight, that chia is hydrating the body. It's also helping to flush out toxins with that fiber, and it's also great for the gut because it's a prebiotic and just doing amazing things. So the other thing that we're going to do right here, this is Kefir. There's several different ways to pronounce it. Whatever you want to do, Kefir. And I had a friend bring me, I say Kefir. You say tomato.
I say tomato.
You say potato.
I say potato.
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 Tomato.
Tomato.
Let's call the whole thing off. A friend of mine brought me some kefir grains, and I made kefir, and this has been so fun. So I'm eventually going to make kefir yogurt, but I haven't gotten there yet. But this is a great thing to use for the chia. And then you can pour it on your fruit or your oatmeal. You don't need a ton. Super high in probiotics, helping to hydrate the body. There are so many good things going on right here. If you'll just take that, we're gonna pour it in the jar. Perfect, yep.
Okay.
We're gonna add 1/4 of a cup of chia seeds to the kefir.
So I fill this to the 1/4 cup.
Yep. So we're just gonna stir that in. And then once we're done, we'll put the lid on, put it in the refrigerator, and let it do its thing. Such a nutritious ferment powerhouse. Just like that. So that's how we do it. These are some easy ways to add hydration, but also probiotics and all those other amazing things, and really nourish the gut, because when you have a healthy gut, I'm telling you, you focus on the gut, focus on caring for the gut. A healthy gut, a healthy mind, a healthy body. Bad moods spin out of an unhealthy gut, and it's just being proven over and over again, and I'm seeing it play out in front of my eyes. Bad moods, depression, hyperactivity, all of these things can stem straight from the gut, and that is why it's so important that we nourish our bodies well. And so now when I go to the grocery store, I don't go to the grocery store for what I want, I go for what I need. What does your body need? Nutrients. And the majority of those nutrients are in the produce aisle, and right here, and right here. And all these little things that you can add to your life that are going to help to nourish your mind. And when we think clearly, we have a better connection with the Lord. It's just the way it plays out. He designed us, and He told us in His Word that we are to care for the temple. I had to reframe my thinking because, you know, being brought up in this world, we get exposed to the candy, and we get exposed to the high processed foods and all of these things, and then we start craving it. When I started looking through a different lens, and I started looking at what do I need to do for caring for this body that is a gift that God has given us. So no matter what, your body is a gift from God. And when we start thinking about our body that He gave us, and that we are a spirit with a soul that lives in a body, and we need to take that seriously. So this is just hosting our spirit temporarily, and the more nourished it is, the better we think, and then the better we do, right? So we can pour ourselves into others. Just like they say, you can't pour out of an empty cup. So you got to fill it out with nutrients. And that's what it's all about. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here. And if you are enjoying my content, the way that you can help me out, first of all, if you would head to my website, I have an ebook on there, and it's a 7-day reboot. So it was carefully crafted to cover 7 days, making it easy for you because the grocery list is already planned out, and it's 7 days of nothing but nutrient-dense foods to nourish your body well. It's a great way to kind of restart, refocus, because we crave what we eat, And so as you cover 7 days of amazing foods covering the rainbow, then you will automatically, at the end of that 7 days, start to crave what you ate. So that's one of the ways that you can help me, and also by commenting. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you would like to hear next. And also, if you would subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I come out with new content. So, Mom, I want to thank you for participating and being here today.
My pleasure.
And we're going to tell you guys goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.